So today I'm delighted to say I'm in conversation with H from STEPS with psychologist Dr. Hagrid Rudkin. Holidays are changing. One size doesn't fit all, and the traditional family holiday is more unique than ever. And over half, which is 56% of single parents, haven't had a proper holiday in over 2 years. And the pressure of being the sole responsible adult is enough to make a quarter of them, 26% of single parents, want to book another trip to recover straight away. And because of this, I'm now talking to H from STEPS, an expert in family psychology, Dr. Hagrid Rudkin, as single parents have had to be everything over the past year, haven't they? Teachers, chefs, entertainers, parents and breadwinners. And with over half of these parents multitasking, it's not going to be a very easy time for them if they need to go and deserve a break. So the traditional family holiday is changing, according to this latest research by Verbo. They're an expert in family holiday rentals, and they've done some research, but we're going to talk about now all around taking young children and children generally on holiday. So thank you both for joining me today.
You're welcome. Hi, Sue.
Well, it's lovely to be with you. And, you know, a lot of parents think traveling alone with children as a single parent can often feel quite daunting. And many single parents often tell me anyway that they feel quite anxious about booking a holiday by themselves, especially for the first time. What was your experience, H?
I mean, I've always gone away with my support network, especially abroad.
Yes.
I take my parents with me.
Yes.
Just for that respite. I know that, you know, the safety element is increased as well. And also when they actually go maybe with my parents for a walk or, you know, building sandcastles, I can just have half an hour to myself. Yeah. Because sometimes I feel like I need a holiday to get over the holiday because it's just relentless.
Yes.
So, you know, that's where Verbo are excellent. So it's vrbo.com. So they cater for all different kinds of families. I'm part of a non-traditional family. So I am a single gay dad of twins, and my needs are very different to the traditional 2.4 children. So so that's where they actually excel.
Well, I know that it can be a bit daunting as well about feeling lonely and bored, but you've covered that actually, because in the evenings, you've said already that you're going on holiday with maybe family or friends. And we used to do the same with my two kids. Both sets of grandparents, can you believe it, used to join us because we all got on so well. And you're absolutely right. Then the evenings aren't too long and you can have a bit of adult company. You can maybe go out for a meal or something with someone while someone else is looking after the kids if they're in bed. But what would you say would be, Doctor, the ideas of how do people cope with being lonely and bored in the evenings, do you reckon?
Well, it's one of those things that could be a blessing or a curse, depending on your mindset. So if you've had a lovely day with your kids and it's full of sort of wonderful memories and you feel like you're on top of things and, you know, that you've got this, then actually relaxing by yourself with, you know, a book or a drink or a podcast or sitting in a hot tub can be a real time to sort of nurture yourself and treat yourself, reward yourself. But if you're having a tough day anyway and you feel like you've kind of let things go and you've let the kids down, and you've been ratty, and then the evenings, a long sort of evening by yourself can just be extra time to berate yourself and feel guilty, really. So I think what we have to do is make sure that single parents especially, but you know, all parents have that environment in the evening time where they can just relax and think, you know what, it's been one of those days and it's been these ups and downs, but I'm doing all right and the kids are doing all right and you know, we're all alive and well, and let's just celebrate that. So it's about getting into the mindset where holidays are about treating yourself, rewarding yourself, and just trying to get the relax and the recharge that you can't get in normal day-to-day life.
And not beating yourself up, I think, is the important thing.
Absolutely. Everyone's trying their best.
So, H, how do you keep the kids happy and entertained? Because you've got twins. I mean, is that a challenge in itself? Do they enjoy the same things?
I think the last year and a half has been a challenge for all of us in many different ways. You know, like you said earlier, you know, I found the last year that I have worn many hats. You know, I've been breadwinner, I've been teacher, I've been caregiver. So it's just been relentless. I've also found myself to become very creative. I make something out of nothing. So, we made dens in the garden, we made binoculars out of toilet rolls, so I was always interactive and creative. They will never remember any of it because they were 3 at the time. But what I've done is I've made a lockdown journal, and I've taken pictures, from my phone, and I've printed them in a book, and I've written memories, I've put pictures of their drawings, so they have a record, a visual diary of what I went through.
But you know what? We're always building memories that last a lifetime. And that security, that stability, that love, that time. Because I always say children spell love Time. And there you are. You've created all of that lovely homely environment for them. So that's fascinating, isn't it? It's lovely. So tell us then, Doctor, how do single parents plan for a holiday? What would be your top tips?
Well, top tips is to give yourself plenty of time to plan, because, of course, it's quite a burden to find a right place and then see if it's available and figure out dates. And there could be so much that you do have to think about, which if you weren't in a single parent family, you would share that burden with the other parent. But you've got to do it all yourself. So just give yourself plenty of time, but also keep expectations low, not because you don't deserve good things at all, but because actually what children remember about holidays is precisely that. It's the time, it's the affection, it's the fun, it's the attention, it's the ice cream treat again, and it's just the relaxing of rules. They remember that more than a 5-star place or a whizzy scene. So really it's about thinking, what do I need and what do my children need? And if it's just a change of scene, a little time away, a bit of a relax, then just do that 15 minutes away from home, and have a look at the Verbo website with those wonderful tree houses and double-decker buses that H has been looking at, and just think this is what we need. And actually the magic is in the time that we have together. So keep your expectations low, and then as you build up your confidence, then you can start exploring further afield. But as Ian was saying about taking another adult with you, so in the Verbo survey of over 1,000 single parents, 68% said they would take a family member with them. So take another adult with you, because like we've spoken about, the evening times won't be so lonely, but also you can share that responsibility of looking after the children, entertaining them, making sure they're safe, and all the other worries that a parent has.
Yeah, wonderful advice, and a very interesting survey, isn't it, by Verbo? Let me ask you again, Doctor, holidaying is a great opportunity to build memories that last a lifetime, as we've all said, and bond up with the children in a more relaxed way. But how do they cope with co-parenting? Because I work with a lot of parents going through a divorce, and managing the ex sometimes, particularly if it starts to become a bit competitive. I don't know if you've experienced that, H, as well, or we can talk about that. But, we're going to Barbados, or we're going to the caravan in Cornwall, that where it can get a little bit escalatory and a bit competitive. What's your advice, perhaps, Doctor, first?
Oh, it's a really tricky situation, isn't it? Because co-parenting obviously requires cooperation and communication, but it becomes such a competition instead. So really it's about talking to your children about, well, what kind of holiday do we want? Even if the other parent wants to go to Barbados, what do we want? What do we really fancy doing? So the thing is, it takes 2 to compete. So if you're not even in the competition, then you don't have to worry about it. But it's really reassuring and talking to children, being excited about the caravan in Cornwall, because we can go crabbing, we can go do this, we can go and do that. And children, as I said, it's about the time with you really that they will like. So if you don't enter the competition, then it isn't a problem. But of course there is the wider issue about having to parent separately and what that feels like, and feeling like you've got to somehow prove your worth. But being a good parent is about being affectionate and reliable and attentive, and that's all you need to do.
H, have you had any of that problem where it gets a bit competitive, or not really?
From my experience with my friends who are co-parent, all focused on the children. So like Angharad has just said, it's their needs. They be involved in the whole experience. They can talk about where they'd like to go, where their magical memories are going to be made. They are primary, and that's paramount.
Yeah, that's important. So when you're deciding where to stay, I mean, is it a good idea to look for reviews from other people with children that have been there, or, you know, ideally from other single parents, they'd be able to give you the lowdown on single parent friendly holidays? Is that what Verbo does, Ian?
Verbo specializes in filters. So that's what's incredible about Verbo. You can put in your needs as a family, because everybody's needs are different. My needs are different to Angharad or yours. And I will find the perfect tailor-made holiday for me. You know, like I said, my kids wanted to go to the moon. They can't go to the moon, but we can go to a treehouse.
So when you put your stuff into Verbo, there's no such thing as a perfect holiday, no such thing as a perfect parent. But can you find out some really great places with good space, good convenience, good amenities? Because depending on your kids' interests and stuff, is that what they offer as well when you put in those filters? Yeah,
I mean, I will always look for child-friendly activities nearby, you know, whether it be a nature trail, a play park, a splash park, you know, things that keep them stimulated and keep me happy as well.
Yeah, of course. Because when our kids are happy, we're kind of happy, aren't we, really? You know, I remember when my kids were young, just enjoying people watching sometimes as I watch them play safely, you know, in the sand or by the swimming pool or whatever it is. So how do people find out more about the survey, more about the website and the social media platforms?
I'll leave that one to you, and Angharad, go on. You're the staff.
Thank you.
There we go.
Well, you can find out more about the survey and everything else on verbo.com. So that's VRBO.com.
Lovely. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. So interesting to hear how people can cope with their holidays and relax and have a good time, because it's important to replenish our batteries no matter what we're doing, because kids are very tiring as well as being great fun. So thank you both very much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sue.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.